She goes, I own an adult novelty store.
That's how we do it in the South.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. You know, you remember that Paul Abdul video that came out? You know, it was the one with the cartoon cat. It was called Opposites Attract. You know, the older I get, I see more and more examples of that. And basically, she's talking about her and her boyfriend being totally different or whatever. And you'll notice that a lot of successful relationships are like that. You know what I mean? That not everybody is exactly the same. It'd be no fun, you know? You gotta have a little yin to your yang, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a relationship expert, that's for damn sure. But it's so funny to see that in public. You know, one thing about this business, you know, you meet a lot of interesting people. You know, you get sad stories, you get funny stories, you get just motivating stories, you know. I mean, take back to the guy that bought all the property that the shopping mall ended up on, or, you know, these success stories, or, you know, just all kinds of crazy stuff, and I love it. You know, so, you know, everybody you meet, you always get something a little different. This one was really funny, and this is a sale that was a little ways back, and I actually got reminded of this because I actually bumped into this couple at an event. And so I got to be a little careful how I throw the details out to protect the guilty, but it's actually a really funny story. I really don't think they'd care anyway. Easygoing, super cool people, but real funny. So I had a vehicle for sale, and they came in and wanted to look at it. You know, and I get, as a rule, usually, you know, if it's some guy's married, he's going to come here himself. Every once in a while, they'll bring a wife with them, and I'll be honest with you, I can work one, I can work a crowd. You know, it works. I've been in this business a long time, and you know, and they're walking around and looking, and oh my God, what's that little thing? And oh my goodness, man, where'd you get all these cars at? I'm like, I just buy them all over the place, and this and this and this and this. Man, I really like that. Opening the doors and opening hoods and firing them up, and be like, man, I like that. So imagine how cool it'd be in your garage. And this and this, and you know, and all the little lines, and you know, and this, and I love putting people in their first collector car. You know, so I love that little glimmer in their eye. I love that. Just, man, you know, when they step back and just look at it, I'm just thinking, and I tell them this every time I see somebody do that. I said, you realize when you buy this, you're going to do that every time you walk away from this vehicle. And I said, that's what these things are made for. That's how you know you chose the right car. They get all excited, you know, goosebumps, and just I love it. I love the energy in the room. I feed off of that. You know, you got to think about it. I'm an old school salesman, so shuck and jive all the way. All the little funny lines, all the way down through the paperwork, yada, yada, yada. Well, yeah, think about it. In this process, you know, you learn a lot about your customer. And, you know, a lot of them, you know, worked hard, saved their money, or, you know, looking for an old car, or you get a lot of that, but you also get a lot of interesting stories, you know, and I love hearing, you know, their take on things, you know, and then you can chime in, especially if something's relatable, you know. Whenever somebody mentions divorce, I'm like, brother, I can tell you all about that. So I've been down that road twice. I'm like, oh my goodness, and yeah, and this and this, and next thing you know, you're swapping war stories about divorces. And, you know, and I love that. So this couple had both been previously married and then divorced, and then they met. So we're doing the paperwork, and I'm sitting in my office, and, you know, and I'm just over here filling out paperwork, make sure, you know, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and whatnot, and going over everything. I had to copy a few things and whatnot, and, you know, getting them ready to rock. And I was telling them about collector car insurance. So she was on her phone looking up collector car insurance and, you know, talking to their insurance agency, see if they had it or whatever. It's called agreed value. And you're just going back and forth. You know, I'm sitting here at my desk, and I said, so where'd you two kids meet? You know, and I say two kids, they were older than me. And they said, it's kind of crazy. We actually met on a website, on a dating app. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. You know, technology, boy, something else. Can't just find an old car no more. You can find the love of your life. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And next thing like he grabs her leg and they just look at each other. It was cute. I mean, it was really cute, And so I'm finishing up paperwork and I turn this around and I'm like, and that's right, from here on out, every Saturday you're gonna be at car shows for the rest of your life, sign the dotted line. And the wife's like, oh my goodness. She said, I'm gonna feel like I'm losing my husband. I said, no, he's just got a new hobby. I said, this is the side chick, just laughing. Like, oh goodness, going back and forth, signing stuff. And I said, so what kind of work you guys do? And he goes, well, it's kind of funny. We both own businesses. I said, man, that's awesome. I love it, And, being a small business guy myself, I'm all about it, And I said, what kind of business you in? He goes, well, I own a bookstore that sells Christian-based books. And he said it actually took off, and I have about 30 of these stores throughout the Southeast. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. He actually named the name of the store, and I've seen them before. I'm like, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I said, man, that's awesome. And I said, so what about you? I said, what kind of business you're in? I'm ready for, I own a cupcake bakery, or I sell custom T-shirts, or insert something. I mean, I own a salon or something, I'm ready for that. She goes, are you ready? And I'm like, sure. I'm like, oh my goodness. This lady's too old to be doing OnlyFans. And she goes, I own an adult novelty store. And the very first words out of my mouth, which were probably not the right ones to say being a professional salesman, you gotta be shitting me. So you're telling me the man that owns a Christian bookstore and the lady that owns an adult novelty shop are married? And I said, how in the hell did this even happen? Well, we met on a dating website, and I said, so what got, the Christian bookstore guy, I really wasn't too interested in what got him into being a Christian bookstore. Obviously, me and her had a conversation going on. What got you into this? What got you into the, man, I keep wanting to say one thing, and I know we're going to get demonetized. What got you in the adult novelty business? And she said, well, actually, my ex-husband got me into it. And he actually owned a chain of the stores. And when we got divorced, I got a certain amount of stores from him, and that's how I make my living. She said, I manage these stores, and she's like a general manager. And I said, so, and and at this point I realized that I was kind of showing my sleazy side because I was favoring her side more than his, and he's buying the car. So I turned and I look at him, and I told him, I said, so now what got you in the Christian bookstore biz? And he goes, well, me and my first wife started this company, and she passed away. And, I was single for a little while. And like I said, we just met online and we hit it off. And he said, we were on 3 dates before we even really talked about what we did. I knew she was a business owner just like she knew I was. But we kind of kept it vague, we just enjoyed our time together. And when we kind of found out, we thought it was kind of odd, but at the end of the day, what does it matter? And I'm like, you know what? You serve a valid point. So how long you guys been married? So they've been married for 5 years, and I love it. I'm like, man, that's awesome. That's definitely interesting. That's something you don't hear every day. It's a hell of a combination. I definitely, I love being able to diversify and having random things in your portfolio, but that's definitely from one extreme to the other. But you know what? Kudos to them. You know what? They bought an awesome car, and got a hell of a story that came with it. Definitely made me smile. I shared that one a few times after that one. But anyway, guys, we'll catch you next time here at Rabbit's Used Cars.